all began here 25 years ago. 300 young lives began a journey that will change their lives forever. Achimota was a school like no other. It was big. "14 houses.
Jumpy. Way Jumpy. Yes, that's the house.
Livingston House. That was my house.
Way Agri. Agri House is my house. Stockford House.
Way Cadbury. Salutations from Cadbury House.
Makati House.
Susan Oforiata House. Swa all the way, yes.
Sleza House. Way Sle.
The best girls' house in the whole of Motown.
Gadgisburg House.
The one and only Jibeg.
Way Jibeg.
Clark House.
Clark in the house. Clark
Yeah,
house.
man.
It's
Yeah.
all about Clark.
Way Lugan. Fraser House.
We had more infrastructure than any other. Two assembly halls, 2 chapels, a music school, art school, 2 gymnasiums, 2 dining halls, arboretum, cricket pitch, huge swimming pool, our own post office. We had the best teachers.
Mr. Nyakute, he taught us literature.
Madame Okru especially.
For me, a personal favorite was Mr. Mahmoud.
Miss Tortos.
Manakpet, our math teacher.
My favorite housemaster, Mr. Christian, Mr. Titi Ofe. James Ariel Jabin. Ringo.
We had the best academic pedigree. Only the best came to Achimota, rich and poor alike. We had the best traditions. Founders Day, excellent cadet corps, and an excellent choir. We had the best cultural values, academic excellence, discipline, cleanliness, etc. We had the best heritage. Arguably, the only school in the world to educate the founding presidents of 3 different countries. Jawara of Gambia, Nkrumah of Ghana, Mugabe of Zimbabwe, plus even more presidents. Jerry Rawlings, John Atta Mills. Even our current president attended the primary school. It was a privilege to be called an Achimotan. Everywhere we go, being an Accra opens doors, extreme respect and recognition, trust in our abilities. Across all professions, education, law, engineering, medicine and healthcare, business and entrepreneurship.
The Executive Director of Charterhouse, Mrs. Theresa Ayoade.
Media and entertainment. Clergy and charity work. And we cannot but feel nostalgia for our time on the Outlaws Hill.
My My memories of Achimota School, if you ask me that question, then I remember the lines in So Long a Letter. I believe that all of us read that book, which states, if over the years and passing through the realities of life, dreams die, I still keep intact my memories, the sort of remembrance.
Motown was just totally all-round experience, you know. It just made you grow into a confident young girl, not afraid to socialize, because you do so much of it on campus.
I can't forget Achimota School. To be honest with you, Achimota School made me what I am today. I left Achimota School a well-rounded human being. As far as Achimotan traditions are concerned, we always say we don't educate just the head, or reading, writing, arithmetic, but we educate the head, the heart, and the hand. And some of the things that, apart from academia, some of the things that we learned whilst we were in Achimota School have led us to be the entrepreneurs that we are today, has taught us the fellow feeling we have for community today, for church, for everything, pretty much. We're molded in Achimota School.
The boldness with which we move about the pride, not pride as in arrogance pride, but pride that you are able to stand among your equals. Yes, that's what Achimota School is all about.
That Achimotan experience gives you a sense of identity. If I put together the experiences, either the up ones or the low ones, that combination is formidable.
All-rounded experience. The academics were so particular about academics, and how they talk about great people who had been to the school, and the founders of great business enterprises all coming to the school, and political leaders, and there is still a sense of pride and zeal to succeed in us.
It was an exciting 7-year period for me. And for the 5 years in Kingsley House I spent, I won't forget those memorable times, especially when we had games or inter-houses. My good friend Gladys Mantiel, always trailing, and when we are shouting, Gladys, hurry up, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Meanwhile, Gladys is lost.
We came to Motown in 1984. Tough times. Little 12, 13, and in certain cases, 17-year-old boys showed up in Motown. I think as a year group, we're probably the most blessed, because we got to spend 2 years on the West together, and we got to know each other really, really well before moving to our various houses. So I think we've done very well as a year group, and we need to give credit where credit is due. It was in our first year that Bob Satan came to the school, Mr. Siedu. And if you look at subsequent results, especially when it came to O-levels, our year group did extremely well. It was unheard of. I don't think it was because we were that much smarter. It's just that we grew up in Motown in a little bit of a better environment, a little bit more discipline, more structure to our lives. And I think we need to give that credit to him and to thank him for that.
A shout out to all Slezza ladies in the house. My Achimotan experience was definitely made richer with my being in Slezza House. In fact, let me take this opportunity to say a big thank you to the planners of Achimota School for putting that road in front of the house. Yes, the one that leads to the games field. That one. It made for a lot of extra fun in the house. I will never forget the clarion calls that will be made just because somebody had spotted a hapless boy deciding to use that route to the games field on that day. And we would come running from all corners. Soap sats, leave your soakings, just run to the window and join in the scream, just for the poor boy to miss his step or fall down or something. And we just enjoyed this and the buzz it brought into the house. Oh my God, Slezza House was great.
Salutations from Cadbury House.
The house that is known also as the Chocolate House.
Wow. It was an amazing number of years there. I tell you, something else happened to us. So many fond memories of Cadbury. Fantastic experiences. I remember so well the football matches we played in front of the house. A number of times I was denied selection in the soccer team. Over the years and then our transition to the East to Cadbury House, we've always taken a hard knot position, survivor.
No, as for that one, they're straight up. I went to Achimota Primary from class 1 to class 6 before coming to secondary. So of course I was in boarding house.
You were hardened not.
All the tricks.
And then I had him to tell me about all the tricks. So there was no loose end. Cadbury House won that singing competition. We were in the back. We've been singing for a while. Yes. Yes.
Talking about seniors.
Can you sing a few lines for me of that song?
Moko mamichi bankunebe. Moko mamichi bankunebe. Bano yakwe. Ebe yekwa. Inke yano yakwe.
Those were the days. I mean, we won it flat.
We won it flat.
Life in Kingsley House was fun. It was total fun because even though the girls, I mean, we were very, ladylike, but we were also very aggressive, So it was a good blend. We were not like Slender House aggressive, But we were there, when it came to sports, like going to games field, and Sheen, Jama, I mean, we were there with our Jama, of course, with Sabah in the lead, leading us in Jama, and Gladys running for us and knowing what she was doing even though she was last. But Kingsley House had the best 4x100 squad. It was made up of Ama Enin, Donko, myself and Jifa. These were the 400 by 4 squad leaders, and we used to win all the time. 100 by 4 inter-houses, that was us.
We've done the good, the bad, and well, some of us didn't do the ugly, but we gated quite a bit. Not because we're just hanging around, walking our friends down the Saka plains, seeing people off, coming back. The story is told actually that my name actually came up for consideration as Deputy School Prefect West. And it went back and forth. And actually, apparently, they had agreed, yes, Joe, let it DSP. And then somebody said, but that guy gives too much. He gives too much. And then he apparently I'd come to school, 6th form, and I was wearing white socks. So for getting and white socks, I got demoted from the DSP position.
Oh my God, Valentine's Day was such a big deal. Really big deal,
You bring up very unpleasant memories. You bring up very, very unpleasant memories. I remember how my Valentine card was returned. I remember how it was returned for reasons which we need not go into, because man must move from that position. I'm not certain anybody's going to return my Valentine card today. So these are learning experiences and there's no need to recount them.
Early morning, like 6 a.m., the cards start arriving, the huge cards, the cakes, the chocolates, the wine. Oh wow! It was a really, really big deal. And they used to do this DHL delivery, which was so funny. I mean, from like Lugard House to Kingsley, they don't call DHL. And DHL will come and pick up the gifts from Lugard House and come and deliver to Kingsley House just for catch-up. I mean, that be a child advance though.
Now, let me tell you about an incident which happened way back in Form 1 when we were on the West. It illustrates something that even up to now I've never really been able to understand. How come, why that fixation that Achimotans have with the dish that we call doch, fried plantain and beans. And our table head was called Senior Botre, and he was in House 12. Senior Botre never really came for dining, but when it comes to Thursday, he will come. So one Thursday, luckily it was getting to time for the bell to be rung, and Senior Botre had not come. So Senior Botre's doch was there, and all the boys on the table, we were eyeing the doch, just waiting for the bell, But then, just like 2 minutes to the bell, we decided, Senior Botre is not going to come. Senior Botre will not come. Hooray! We're going for that doch. Then we decided to share the doch. After sharing the doch, we started eating. Then a small boy, that is a Form 1 boy, came to our table. Senior Botre has sent him to come for his doge. What? Senior Botre wants his doge, and this doge was already in our throats. Some of us were choking on it already. So, how are we going to tell this story? So the boy went back, and before dining would close, the boy came back to tell us that Sinaboche wants all the boys on the table to come to his house. So Sinaboche took us into custody in his house, in his dormitory, and oh my God, it was not a pretty sight. Sinaboche, unfortunately, he was with some other seniors, and they all had their mind on the doge that Sinaboche was going to bring from the dining hall. And we impertinent boys had eaten Sinaboche's doge. So you can imagine the anger among the seniors. They took us through kneeling down on gari, kneeling down on gravels, and then we had what we call firing squad. You kneel in a straight line, and then I knock you, you knock the next person, and the next person will knock the next person until you get to the end of the line. Then about 10, we turn around, and then the knock like a cascading, what do you call it? Cards, you know. I remember very well Benamfu in that episode. Benamfu was there and still going to bang, you know. But we were like 6 or 7 boys, but these 2 people I remember very well. So since then, I've learned to be wary of doge.
One of the few escapades my twin sister here and I had, together with some other naughty twins. You know, our boys, who were about that guy, Bamford, Samchung Berima, aka Secretary, for Bamford. They always used to go and get us fried yam, trophy, and kiloli.
You were parts. They used to get us. We were parts.
No, the last time they said, if we don't go with them, then don't bring us in.
Okay.
Yes. So we used to eat it. They go and bring it and we eat it. But that particular day, they said if we don't go, they are not bringing us in. So we went. And then we had bought the yam and trophy and everything, and we're coming back to school. Then one teacher, Mrs. Hayford, had a little red car. Now, so we had bought the yam and trophy, young girls and boys strolling down. The boys knew some pathway that would bring us right back to Gadgetsburg, and then through Jumpy, and then we come back into the classroom areas. You know, there were these buildings that stood on pillars. So little old me, who hardly packed, unlike my twin sister, who had experience in it, saw this Mrs. Hayford, and I panicked. So I said, Jesus, Mrs. Hayford, and the woman had her name. So the boys led us to this house on pillars.
Like a running mode.
Running mode. Lo and behold, with our luck, the house that they led us under, there was a dog that had given birth underneath it. So the dog started back. How the boys managed to hold the dog, God knows, we kept quiet. Then this woman, no, she had a torchlight, came around. We were in the bushes. I mean, we could have been bitten by a scorpion. Anything could have happened to us. So we laid quietly. The woman had a torchlight and she was with somebody else. So they kept on looking. Then she moved the car. So the boys led us back to school.
Jumping hedges, running.
Yeah. No, we ended up in Clark House because when we got to Kingsley, she was parked in front of Kingsley House.
And they unlocked the house, taking road. So we had to end up in Clark House.
And we acted like, but we acted like we were fast asleep. So when she came back, she saw Linda in the bed and said, "Why fall asleep?" And we said, "We were learning and we fell asleep."
Some of the things that I remember very much about Monk. One evening, he came to the house and I was studying in the middle of the night. I'm sure we were about 1 or 2 guys, about 12 midnight there about. The monk says, "What are you doing at this time? How can you be sitting here at this time? Why do people behave like dark blacks? Why?"
Where will Achimota be in 25 years' time? Will it still have the same infrastructure and resources? Growing through the years and now approaching its 90th milestone, Achimota has not been without its challenges.
I took over office in May 2007 and I've been here since. When I came to the school, the structures, one could see that they lacked some painting and needed painting. Therefore, we took it up as a challenge to ensure that all the buildings were painted. We also realized that the financial state of the school was not too good. This is because Achimota is treated like any other school and we pay government stipulated fees. When you look at the 3-year system that the government is now running for education, you notice that students in Form 1 come as late as November. And so virtually the first term of the academic year, of the first year academic year, is non-existent because when they come late November, they vacate in the middle of December. Then when they get to Form 3, they start writing their final exams in the second term. The second term, when students come, we start with the mock exams, and then the final exam starts. So the period is short. To overcome this challenge, we have been arranging to have Saturday lessons and even Sunday lessons. Our other challenge is a lot of thievery on the compound. Because the school is not walled, you know, the school is very porous. People use it as a thoroughfare, and as a result of that, there are a lot of theft cases. The PTA is helping the school by having employed 45 security personnel. When we were here, we were about 1,000 in population. Right now, we are about 3,000. As a result of that, though we have an assembly hall, a chapel, 2 chapels, etc., we cannot use them very well. Students have to go for entertainment in 3 batches because the assembly hall cannot take the about 2,400 boarding students. Therefore, we go in 3 batches, the morning section, the afternoon section, and the evening section. The school, with the help of the government, is putting up an assembly hall. The chapel is highly overcrowded, and the students sit in the sun and the rain and whatever. It's very small. We've even done canopies outside the chapel, but the students have gone beyond the canopies now. Encroachment. There's so much encroachment on the school compound that we very much want the school walled, either by government, parents, or the old students, or collaborative efforts. If the 3 will come together and help, we'll be most grateful. There have been some lawsuits, and we are in court. You know, the law grinds so slowly, and it feels like today one party will not be there, tomorrow another party will not be there. So it seems like judgment is not being given. But the judgment we had in 2006 states that apart from the 198 plots that it is alleged that Achimota gave out first, everything else belongs to Achimota School. So it is surprising that the folly has been taken over completely. The OAs themselves, who are alleged to have sold those parcels of land, put an advert in the newspapers that that area does not belong to them and that it belongs to Achimota School. You know, so, but somehow there's so much lawlessness. People are building, nobody, it seems like everybody is looking on. The courts are delaying and you cannot do anything. Unfortunately, the people building, even though they have an injunction placed on them, they are still building. And they have land gas with them. We are a school, the school is financially cash-strapped. And so where can we go and get people, hire people to go and sack these people who are putting up buildings? We can only seek redress in the law courts. There's so much Akoras can do about this, because there are a lot of Akoras in the military and all other areas, sectors of government. All governments that come in We have Akoras at the helm of affairs. And we feel that they should push because the land has been vested in the head of the state. So the head of the state can make any pronouncement. And I'm appealing to all Akoras to come to the aid of the school, to support the school to fight this battle. It is difficult. The encroachers have an association, they have a union, and they contribute. And so they have a lot of money. We have no money. As at now, we are using our IGF to go to court. That is what we are using to pay the legal fees, etc. And it's a real challenge for us as a school.
Despite the challenges, Akoras from across the year groups are contributing their bit to keep Achimota as head of the host. We doff our hats to them. Achimota's challenges still persist. Does anyone care that the school lands are being blatantly stolen? That we no longer have a school farm? We no longer have a hospital of our own? That most of our infrastructure is crumbling? Are we going to allow the greatness of Achimota fade into oblivion? We say,
no. No way!
No, certainly not.
Definitely not.
That's why we assemble from Accra, Dubai, Toronto, New York, London. To make a difference, it must not be said that it was in our time that Motown collapsed. Welcome to the 2016 OAA UK Dinner Dance and Fundraiser, powered by the OAA 89 Year Group. Akwaba.